Welcome to the Forward Podcast. Hope that you had a wonderful Thanksgiving week. And Carrie and I just came out of ours. It was good.
Was your battery running low? Ours.
I do need to replace that. I was
like
going to
a
say
robot.
something else. I was like, okay. You want to talk about our Thanksgiving week?
We had a great one. We had a
It
very
was
good
really
one.
good. Yeah. It's always awesome spending time with family. And
Yeah.
I love this time of year. It's like one of my favorite times of year for sure.
Yeah, it was a nice weekend. And I talked to a lot of people at church who also, I think it was just a restful time for everyone.
Yeah.
So that's
cool.
good. Yeah.
Which is, Then we were supposed to have this mega snowstorm come in. Oh my word, we're going to have so
That
many
was
inches of snow.
really disappointing.
Yeah, it was lame. It
We
was
got hardly
literally
anything.
Nothing. I was making fun of so many people because those people, it's so funny how it calls for snow and everybody texts, are we canceling church?
Yeah.
If we got all the snow they were calling for, we would not probably have canceled church.
Yeah. If we were getting like the 5 to 6 inches they were saying, but we literally got 2 inches and it melted off
Yeah, it
halfway
was
through.
horrible.
It was lame.
Yeah, Indianapolis is that way though. It's
We
funny.
don't get a lot of good
Yeah.
snow.
It's funny. Oh, well.
Yeah.
Anyways, hey, we want to talk about a subject tonight. And it's a subject that, I was going to say, I think sometimes women deal with this a lot more. But
How dare you?
yeah, I know. Then when I say it, it makes me look like, a chauvinist or
Yeah.
something. So I'm not going to say that. But it's definitely something everyone deals with. And
Yeah.
that is a subject of being envious or jealous of other people.
We came up with this topic near the holidays because it really is something to get together with family or, extended relatives that you haven't seen maybe since last year at this time. And it's really shocking to me how easy it is to become jealous or to compare yourselves with other
yeah.
people, or when people do it to you. I think that's even an issue too, when you realize like someone's kind of baiting you or they're trying to make you look bad because they're jealous of, something you have or something you've accomplished or whatever. And it can kind of put a damper on the holidays. So we thought it was fitting to put this topic right here and just kind of talk through it from a spiritual standpoint and also very practically.
Yeah.
Like, how do you not get jealous? I mean, what if someone really does have what you want or they roll up and, they've got this life that you can't help it. You're jealous of. Like, how does that play out?
Yeah, and this is something that has always been around for a long time, beginning with in the book of Genesis, when two brothers brought their worship before God, and one didn't like the others, and one was obeying God, one wasn't. And because the one that wasn't accepted, he killed his brother over it. And
it's an old problem.
It is, thousands of years. Every society has struggled with it. And male and female both struggle with it.
Mm-hmm.
But I think, Kara, what it kind of where we ought to go tonight is not looking at it like in a comparative mindset of like, well, they're jealous, but they always verbalize it, or they're jealous, so they treat it this way, or they do this, or they say bad things about other people. I think it's just sometimes we need to realize it's there. It's in our life, big or little, no matter how we want to define it. And how do we address it? Kind of where do we go? And you kind of wrote out our notes for tonight. And so I'll kind of let you take over, especially since I started out, and I know people might get mad by me saying it's a woman thing, but I will say I do believe that you can speak into this subject, maybe a little bit more because you are female. And
so you do think it's a women's thing?
Well, I grew up with 7 sisters. I'm married to a female. I'm raising 4 daughters. Like
True.
A lot of problems that arise when women argue, fight. 9 times out of 10, it goes back to this subject. This is the root problem of a lot of female problems.
Yeah.
Is simply jealousy. I have said it for years to different people, like, oh, they were arguing, oh, they said this is, and I always just speak mine. Well, she's jealous. She's jealous, and that's why she's saying this, or that's why she's doing this, and that's not always, and it's not to say that men are not, because absolutely it's there as well. I feel like in a male, it plays out differently.
Sure.
And I could talk a little bit more about that later on, but where does it show up really in everyday life, especially from like your point of view?
Yeah.
Both of us have had feelings of jealousy before. It's something that we have both fought. And so where do you feel like it kind of plays out in everyday life?
Definitely social media. I mean, obviously I've stated on here before, and it's just a very vulnerable spot for me to say, but I'll say it again. I don't follow a lot of influencers. It's just hard. It's hard to always feel like you're behind, like everyone else has things that you don't have. And I mean, the funny thing is, it's not true. I mean, influencers do, but they're not the vast majority of the populations. But it feels like it because they are the vast majority of the population on social media, especially if you follow them, you put yourself in that situation. But obviously, social media, and then even in family relationships, you mentioned being raised with 7 sisters. So 8 kids is a lot for a family. And I would imagine, I mean, there were 5 of us, which is still a lot, but I would imagine that the bigger the numbers get in your household, that pops up, the jealousy. One kid gets something, one doesn't. You got the better room. Mom and dad love you more, like all the little things kids say. But
sure.
I remember even when Tommy was born and I was pregnant with Lois, I remember how many people would say, "Oh, do you think he's going to be jealous? Do you think he's going to be jealous?" And I remember thinking, why does everyone ask that?
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy. You're putting it in his head, like by me assuming he will be. So I remember from a very young age, when Tommy was just 2 and Lois was born, really trying to instill that ownership in him. Like, this is your baby too. And, mommy brought a baby home for you and this is your sister. And, kind of giving him that pride that it was someone that he could love and care for, not like creating a jealousy within him. But it does. It pops up in social media. It pops up in families. It can pop up at work. You can be jealous over, someone's position, their pay, their promotion, anything, or maybe not even at your work, but someone just has a job that you would love to have. And it can be difficult to process those feelings. But I think especially around this time of year, it's just something to be very aware of in your own heart and mind. Like when I'm communicating with someone, is this something that's, coming up in my everyday life where I'm consistently resentful of what other people have and don't have?
Right.
I think it's important to analyze that in our own selves, because if everyone did that, then we would eradicate a lot of the problem, right? But the issue is, I don't think, especially as adults, and I know grown women will never admit they are jealous.
Oh, no.
They will fight you.
Oh, absolutely.
Before they admit, I'm jealous of her.
Oh, absolutely.
And
Yeah.
I remember,
agree.
like
I
a
agree.
couple years ago, there was somebody that you follow on social media and you said, "Did you see her post or whatever?" And I said, "Oh, no, I don't follow her." And you said, "Why?" And I said, "I'll be very honest. I'm jealous. I'm just jealous. Like, I feel like that she has the things that I feel like I should have been at that point." And this was years ago.
Yeah.
But I remember you saying, "I'm really proud of you." And I was like,
it's a
"What?
huge step.
That's a sin." And
I
you were
love
like,
that.
"No," you're like, "I'm proud that you admit it. Like, that's an issue that I'm dealing with. And before I, interrupt my mental health over it, I got to get this right first." And it's not that I just don't follow people and I never get that right. Like, it's definitely something where, acknowledgement is part of it, yes, but then you got to move forward. You got to grow up, and you got to be able to follow people without having a mental meltdown every time.
Really good. I'm proud of you. I think on the men's side, it's very similar. I kind of jotted down. I think that this is very relative to me, but in long conversations with hundreds of men, it shows up. Jealousy shows up, I really believe, kind of in 3 areas. I think the first one is when a man has a low self-esteem, jealousy kicks in. Somebody is super built and, the man is not. He's been kind of, chubbing out and not working out, not working on anything.
Yeah.
When he has that low self-esteem, the jealousy does come in. Doesn't have as great a job. So some guy shows up in a new car, new truck, and if the man is working towards that, it's not as much jealousy, because then it's like, okay, well, I'm not as built as him, but I'm working out.
Yeah.
Like then the goals are there. I'm going to get there.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't have a truck like that, but I'm working hard and I'm saving up. And by this time next year, have a down payment to be able to. So men get jealous kind of when their self-esteem is low. I think secondly, it shows up a lot of times when a wife gives more attention to someone or something.
Yeah.
It's not even necessarily like another man, but it could be a lot of things. Girlfriends, even kids.
Yeah.
We did an episode, whatever, a couple months ago, and I cannot tell you how many men were, DMing. I've never thought about that, but I absolutely, when our child came along, our first kid, I was so jealous of her time and her commitment and her love and patience for a child that was not there for the husband anymore. I think that's number two. And then I think number three, it's very hard for a man, even for me sometimes, to get jealous when someone gets something and they get it, and it's not from working hard. It is from getting it from something that you yourself would never do.
Oh, okay.
Somebody poor mouths and woe is me, and we're going through these problems. We just have so many problems, and all all this is they're given.
Yeah.
And then you're like, okay, well, I would never stoop that low to act like my life is so bad, to poor mouth, oh, we're starving over this. Oh, we lost my job. Oh, they were mean to me. And so then the gifts are poured on, which is an amazing thing from God's people or from coworkers or friends. But to me, I have always struggled with maybe at times even getting jealous of what somebody might be given, because they stoop to a level that I would never stoop to.
Right.
And then it's hard to see those blessings just heaped upon somebody.
Yeah.
And then they call it, oh, God has been so good.
You're like, no, your poor mouth is just really up there.
Right,
it's just real good.
You're
just really good at that.
Right. That's that. So I think those are areas that a lot of people, they see and they struggle, especially when it comes from from the man's point of view. But envy really does, kind of boiling it down, it gives or reveals a distorted view of God, God's timing, and who we are, our identity.
Yeah.
Jealousy kicks in. We're not content anymore. It is a sin, and we want what somebody has.
Yeah.
And it really gives us a distorted view of what God has given us and the blessings that are in our life.
Yeah.
And or the work ethic to get where somebody is.
Yeah.
So many times I'll hear, people complain about somebody else, and I always just say, it's that jealous spirit that's coming out. And if you work hard, you can have what they have. But if you don't put the work, or if you don't have the work ethic, you're never going to get there. So then just what comes out is really a poor, complaining spirit about someone else that you're just not willing, or you and I are not willing to put the time in to get where that person is.
Exactly. And that's what that internal voice sounds like. If you're having a hard time recognizing, am I a jealous person? Do I come off that way? Do I allow myself to be trapped in that? Some things you can listen for are, do you doubt God's timing in your life?
Yeah.
I think about this a lot with ladies that, are struggling with conception and being able to have a baby. That's a lot on a woman. And then a lot of times it will manifest as a jealousy towards other women. And that's hard. I've had miscarriages. I know how that feels to, we've used that example many times where I sat in the waiting room waiting, for my DNC and had to sit next to a teenager who was pregnant, who was crying because she didn't want her baby. And I'm like, sheesh, I'll take it, and it's hard. Like there's a resentment that comes in because it's not wrong to want what other people have. No. In that one moment, it wasn't wrong for me to want a baby. I mean, that's a blessing. It's a beautiful thing. It's not wrong to want wealth and a nice home or children or a great job or higher pay. Like none of those things are wrong to want. But I think internally when you start resenting the people that have them and coming up with reasons in your own mind why they shouldn't or why they don't deserve them, and you do, then that's this big doubt of like, God doesn't know what he's doing in my life. And God is not giving me what I deserve.
Yeah, it's cool.
And that mentality is extremely damaging because, like, what do any of us deserve, right?
Right.
What do any of us deserve? And I know that I remember this is when we were first married. Somebody that we knew and were close to, they were getting a very big blessing. And I remember so many times driving around with you in the car, and Tommy was a baby, and we were like, it's not that we don't want it for them. It's just that there's other people that really need it, and they don't. And why is God giving them all this when they are, we just knew too much. We were too close to them, and it was like, what is happening? Like, why is God doing this? And we truly did. We weren't even jealous for ourselves. No. We didn't care. We didn't need it. We were just like, we know other pastors who would need this so bad. And I was like, are we secondhand jealous for other people? I
remember that.
We wanted God. We were like, yes, God, that blessing, but not to those people.
Right.
Like we could pick better than you, God. We could tell you who to give that to.
Right.
And I think a lot of times it's kind of an arrogance. Yeah. It's an arrogance in your life where you think these people don't deserve that, but I do.
Right.
Or even other people do it. But you're not God.
It's not a healthy.
And you don't get to pick,
right.
And if he lays it on someone's heart to give to somebody and you find out about it, I mean, quite frankly, it's none of your business,
Right.
Or even things like you said, a lot of it bleeds over into work ethic and what you're willing to do.
Right.
And then all of a sudden people just think it's so easy. Oh, you just have all this. Oh yeah, it just appeared. No, I worked really hard.
Right.
Roberto and I were talking about this the other day. That's our friend who helped me to get into insurance and kind of walk me through. And he said, isn't it funny how many people just think you just went out and bought an insurance agency? They weren't there for the 2 major exams, the studying for months on end, the, passing the exams and then learning the trade and then trying to go through the loan process with the government when the government's, what were they doing? They shut down the loans or something. It was awful. I mean, it was like a solid year of the most stress.
Right.
But then you have people that will be jealous of that and think that I just waltzed in and no, I'm just going to do this. Like it's no big deal.
Right.
So all of those internal thoughts that like the arrogance and the pride and the doubt in God's timing play into, if you're having those thoughts and feelings, maybe analyze that internally and say, I think I'm in the wrong here. I don't think I need to be feeling that way.
Yeah, that's so good. I think too, a big help in my life has been when you can see the jealousy of others in your life. And people can be very hurtful when they're jealous of something in your life. They want it, and you can always see it kind of hatch when they begin to tear you down.
Yeah.
Anytime you see male or female, this just dogmatic, always has to embarrass you, always have to, get the little cut in, little quib here and there, just tearing you down. You know that the jealousy is there.
Yeah.
And I've seen it a lot of times. I would say a lot of times, that's an exaggeration, but I have seen it manifested in ways of, well, you're only where you're at because of fill in the blank, or, you were handed that church. Well, it's because the people before. And so, you try to shrug it off best you can, but I think we've all been there where it does sting.
Yeah.
There is a sense of our humanity kicks in where it's like, no, I mean, you just were not handed an insurance agency or we just didn't walk into even the church we're in now and like, hey, here's Crosspoint and, wow, you just inherited. No, I mean, it's 20 years of ministry you and I have been in. It's degrees and money paid out and following God's will around the country and preaching out and sharpening the tools that God's given us and using and ministering and thousands of hours of fill in the blank. And so what I have found, Kara, that has been a tremendous help when I can feel that person that's constantly just jabbing, constantly cutting down, is just, you ready for this?
I am waiting breathlessly.
Give the glory to God.
Yeah.
In those moments when you turn it around and it's like, you could just feel it. Wow, boy, if I were just handed an insurance agency or, well, you just, you want to fight back and be like, dude, just shut up. Like, look at what I've gone and been through. And I've had to go through this. But instead of just sharing a resume, if you give the glory to God, it really stops the conversation from going
Right.
south.
Right.
You know what? Yeah, I really do praise God for what he's given us. Man, he worked through some crazy times that we didn't know what he was doing. And yet, look at where we are at today.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like when you just start giving God all the glory and not
Yeah.
trying to fight for self of, I'm going to preserve my name and what I've done. And when you just kind of give it to him, I mean, who can get mad at God?
Yeah.
Like, it's God.
Yeah.
Like, his grace and his blessings just continually flow out.
Mm.
And I mean, you can't complain. Like, it's not gonna be like, hey, God, I've had enough blessings today. Would you stop? No,
Yeah.
it's he's been very good to our family.
Mm-hmm.
We've worked really hard, but I'm gonna tell you, we just give all the glory and God to praise because we don't deserve what we have, but we sure are blessed to have it.
Right.
I have seen that work so many times
Mhm.
in so many different conversations.
Yeah, and not to oversimplify, but it truly is, if you allow yourself to become jealous of others or to let their jealousy get under your skin, it just steals your joy. It steals the joy in what you do have.
Right.
You know, and we've mentioned this before too, I think, on the podcast, but how our very first home was a duplex and we went up to a double wide manufactured
Woo-woo,
home,
let's
like
go.
a double wide trailer. And then up from that,
I think our payment was with insurance $480 a month.
oh my word.
With insurance
Those
and
were the
taxes,
days.
everything, $480
Gosh.
bucks. And I was like, oh,
We're
babe,
barely making it.
I don't think we're gonna make it. We're gonna do.
Yeah. So it was that. And then from the trailer, we moved up to a little 1-story and then moved up to a 2-story.
Yeah.
And now, actually then California, we went back to a 1-story, but it was new. It was the
It was
first
brand
brand
new.
new home we'd ever
Brand
owned.
new. Yep.
And then, now we're in a 2-story that's also brand new. And so every home that we've purchased has gradually gotten, better and better. And again, all that glory goes to God, but we could have been in that double wide and been angry and resentful because other people our age are already in a 2-story home, and
Yeah.
that's not fair. And it really does. It really steals your joy, and it really takes away from what God's doing in you. And in the whole time, God's saying like, hey, I've got every step laid out for you. You
Yeah.
don't need that home yet.
Right.
It would be too much for you. You wouldn't appreciate it. Like, let's grow you to that point. And I think that's not everyone's story. Some people do, kind of rocket up to the top, or they might do well very young, or some people may be late bloomers. It doesn't matter, because all of our stories are our own.
Yeah.
And that's okay. And I
Right.
think once you settle that in your heart, like, hey, I'm not going to let anybody steal my joy, because I'll stop noticing my own blessings.
Right.
I'll stop noticing that what I have is enough and what I have is ordained by God for me to have. It's okay to work hard and to want more. But if you start feeling yourself slipping away where it leads to discontentment and, worst of all, resentment towards others, that's when you got to stop and do the checkup.
Yeah.
That's when you got to
Yeah.
stop and say, like, Lord, we're safe, we're warm, we're fed.
Yeah.
Like, what you've given us is enough for now. And if you want us to have more, I'm willing to work for it.
Yeah.
You know?
And the moral of the story is really God gifts everybody. And,
Yeah.
and even in the word, it wasn't, the reason behind this story wasn't jealousy, but he really did give talents of 3, talents
Yes.
of 10, talents of 1.
I love that
And
story.
it's not to argue over, I can't believe you gave him 10 and me only 3. And no, it's how are you going to steward what God gave you?
Yeah.
And some it is 10, and that's amazing. Some it is 3 and some 1, but it's how you steward those.
Yes.
Because then when he came back and the one buried his 1, he took that 1. And the funny thing is, he gave it to the dude that had 10.
Yeah.
If you okay, he's already got 10, so let's give it to this guy. No, he went
Yeah.
all the way to the top. How God does his business is none of our business.
That's
we just
it.
trust in what he has given us.
Yeah.
And I think if we truly want to move forward, we have to acknowledge it before God. We ought to really practice gratitude deliberately. And I think we're going to have to close out here, but I think a big part of this that would help everyone is just celebrate people. Like, be happy for people.
Yes.
Karen and I say this a lot, and it's not in a bragging way, so y'all don't be jealous, but We really do. I feel like celebrate people.
Yeah. We're
Some-
happy for their wins.
Very happy. Like someone gets a new car
Mm-hmm.
and
Let's go. Take us for a ride.
we are so happy for them.
Yes.
We jump in, we go all around, we love it. It's so amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And some of those same people may never in return say, "Hey, Carrie, I really love your new car." Like
Yeah.
you can't worry about that.
Yeah,
You just have to
that's
be
true.
happy for people. People go on vacation. We have never, not once ever been like, I wish we could go to Disney. Well, I wish we could. I can't believe they get to go here.
Yeah.
We are always so thrilled that people get to do and get away and go. And we always tell them that. I
Yeah.
always deliberately, I am so happy for you.
Yeah.
You guys, y'all have worked hard.
Mhm.
You deserve this. This is amazing. I remember telling my sister Tamara, who is an influencer, and she was getting some flack for some other things. And I didn't even know that at the time. And this is probably last Christmas. Tamara, I'm just so proud of you. Like, you have
Yeah.
worked so hard. You deserve this. So
Yes.
awesome. And she literally teared up and was like,
Aw.
not just because you're my brother, but
Mm.
that means so much. There's other people in my life that have never said anything.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, I lead into Tamara, they're just jealous of you. I go on, but I'm like, no, I'm happy. Like, you worked
Yes.
hard. Like, isn't God not so good?
Yeah.
And I really feel like if we could all just celebrate wins in each other's lives,
Yes.
it would really help with that jealousy that
Yeah.
springs up.
And a big reason God blesses Tamara is because she talks about him. She uses that
Yeah.
platform
So
to
true.
praise him.
Yeah.
And she says all the time, God's blessed me. I'm so thankful. Like, she uses that. And somebody else I was thinking of that this was funny. I think it was like 4 years ago, we went and spoke at a retreat in Washington for Dennis and Hannah.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember this?
Yeah,
And we left there and you were like, one thing I love about Dennis is you would think that they pastor the biggest church in the United States.
Yeah.
Like, they are so proud and so happy and just, they absolutely love what God is doing there.
Yeah.
And it's not the biggest church in the United States. And it's like, they're not even in a huge metropolis city, but they have taken what God has given them and they have maximized and squeezed every last drop out of that to get
awesome.
God's blessings and favor.
Yeah.
And they've made a huge difference in that town.
Yeah.
They've made a massive difference. And even in the state, really statewide, they've made such an impact on other pastors and people going into ministry. And I just remember us like flying home and you were like, that guy is so encouraging because you just leave like, I want to represent our life that way, that we're so thankful that this is what God gave us, that we just don't even care what anybody else has. We're like, why would we care? God's blessed us just as abundantly in his
So
own way.
awesome.
Like, I just remember learning that. We like flew home. We're like, that was the coolest experience,
Yeah.
because very truthfully, you don't get that a lot of ministry. You do when you have like close relationships with other pastors. Sometimes it can be sharing your hurt
Yeah.
and sharing what you've been through. And that's fine. You have to have those friends for sure. But sometimes it can be a little like, oh man, is anybody thankful? Like, ministry can be hard, but it's awesome too.
Right.
And so that was like a really cool lesson for us to learn that it's a point where you have to control the narrative in your own mind.
Yeah.
Like, it's okay if God only gave me 3 talents, or it's okay if God gave me 10
Yeah.
and all the drama that comes with 10. Because we will tell you, you don't get the 10 talents without the drama that comes with it.
Yeah.
For sure.
And what I love about this pastor you're talking about, Dennis, and his wife Hannah, they are always happy for other people.
Yes,
They
are.
have, our building is, I would say, better than theirs. I mean, our
Right.
gym and 27 acres, and they've been in a building project for a long time, raising
Yeah.
money for in a hard area of the country, and yet Dennis never comes in and is like, "Well, I wish we had this." Boy, he is always so ecstatic. In fact,
Yeah.
God has given a lot of his friends, and one
Yeah.
of his best friends up in Canada, Paul Connor, just given an incredible couple $1 million building, and yet I've never seen Dennis jealous or mad or questioning God. Maybe he does behind. He's like,
He's probably going to call you and be like, that was all wrong.
But what I think that's catchy. It's something that we can all learn from is, no, you can still be so happy for other people and them, and not even like, well, thanks a lot, God. No, it's so awesome to see it in other people's lives, because that's catchy.
Yeah, you and Dennis both are like that, where I think anytime you guys speak to other pastors, you make them feel like you're on the same team. Yeah. And that, sadly, these days that can be rare. Yeah. But you guys are like, let's pull together. Let's be happy for each other. A win for you is a win for me. Yeah. That kind of mentality. And I think that's very needed within friendship circles, within, the female friendship circles. It's just, I don't think females are very good at that. You're correct. I think we're jealous, and then we kind of badmouth, to other people like, I was even telling you tonight, full transparency, there's just some things that I told you. I said, I want so bad to go talk about this with someone, like another woman, a friend, and just let someone know, like, oh, that really hurt me, but I'm not going to. Yeah. And I told you, like, literally today, I said, it's so hard not to do that. Yeah. But I want to be on the same team with my sisters and brothers in Christ, and that would not help our team. No. It wouldn't help our team to go gossip. It wouldn't help our team for me to dwell on something that's foolish. We've got to let it go. Yeah. We've got to be on the same team. We've got to pull together and be happy for one another.
It's awesome. It's awesome. Well, hey, I hope this was a help to everyone. And I think we're at this place, Kara, where we really do want to be a help and an encouragement. Mm-hmm. And I think this is just one area that if we're not careful, it really can make us very unhappy. It can split our families. You can live in just with no peace, no joy. And we just want to let you know you can. You absolutely can. Yeah. And it's one step of giving it to God, next step of being encouraging. And but you got to talk about the problem before you can root it out, for sure. Yep. Well, we have gone now 31 minutes.
11 minutes over our time.
So I want everybody this week, shoot Carrie or I an email or a DM or a text message and let us know. We keep going back and forth of how long these should be, and when we're like, hey, let's go really long, we go really short. Tonight I'm like, Carrie, we got to cut this off at 20 minutes, like, let's just be done. And now we're here. So I kind of want to know, like, from your perspective, what is listening to a couple that's just sitting around talking about life, what to you is a good time? If you say 45 minutes, fine. If you say 10 minutes, and then I cut you off, let us know that too, for sure. But we'd love to hear from you. Thanks so much for listening each and every week. Thanks for your feedback.
Have a great week.